Spencer.
Hey, this is Aaron. How's everybody doing this Monday? This beautiful Monday, pre-Juneteenth.
So, Aaron, what's up with you? What kind of weekend you have? What you vibing on?
Yeah, great weekend. Shout out to Rakisha Fuller from Keyshawn's Corner. I was able to host a amazing event about mental health awareness and suicide prevention this past Saturday at Lake Vista, and remembrance of her son Keyshawn. And she was able to honor two other mothers who have also lost a child to suicide. So it was a good event.
Wow, that was nice. My weekend, I went to for the very first time, and it truly won't be my last. Again, happy Juneteenth. Getting ready for. I went to the Jazzy Jubilee.
Oh, the Juneteenth Jazz Jubilee.
Yeah, it was so.
Yeah, I seen the pictures. It looked like it was fun.
Wow! A sea of the people dressed in white, just awesome. I just don't know the words to describe it, but I just had a great time. Giving a shout out to the organizer, Sarah Terry Scott, and the Woodson G. Carter African American Museum and their team. They did that thing.
Yeah, the Carter G. Woodson is a great location. Shout out to Miss Terry for sure.
Yeah, they did that. So, being that we are talking about Juneteenth, I remember when I first moved back to St. Petersburg, I met this awesome lady, Jeannie Blue. Mm-hmm. And she was of course, everybody just thinks you should, because you are Black, you should know everything about Juneteenth and all of that. But a lot of what I found out about it was through her and her passion for having things out in Campbell Park, celebrating it and everything. So, I want to talk about that, and just if anybody knew her, and I'm very sorry to hear of her passing. Shout out to the family, but call in 727-637-2416. So if you knew her, want to give a shout out to the family and talk about her. Aaron, did you know her?
I remember her growing up as a kid, because she was very active in the community. So when I had seen the flyer of her passing and just letting people know about the memorial, I was like, oh my goodness, I remember this lady. And then ironically, at the event for Keyshawn's Corner, the DJ Supernova, that's her daughter.
Wow.
And I had no idea until after the event. When I got home and I was on Facebook, I was like, oh my goodness, this is her daughter. And we were just together, but yeah, she was an awesome, awesome woman, very sorry to hear about the loss for sure. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we working on some technical difficulties if you're on Facebook. But if you're in the car, wherever you're at, go ahead and tap in. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and tune in on the radio, or text somebody to go to 99.1 FM. Give us a call at 727-637-2416 while we get that together. But yeah, just good events. There was a lot of good events this weekend.
It was at Raymond, even in Hillsborough County.
Yeah, Balaji, she had the event at and Dalvin actually was the event coordinator for that whole event. And at the Raymond State, Raymond James. So it was a good event, I heard. And then there was local events as well. Renee Edwards had her event at the Tropicana Field for Saturday morning shop. So it was, and I'm probably missing other events because it was just that many. Tamika Mitchum with Mitchum Services, she celebrated her 1-year anniversary of opening her business. So I know I missed that, but shout out to her. So it was a lot of great events that was going on. It's not gonna, but yeah. So other than that, it was good.
I remember seeing Cat Williams, the comedian. He did a comedy show in DC. Mm-hmm. And so literally, and I'm going to chime in to Juneteenth, he did a comedy show in DC. So when it appeared, and I watched it from the nice Capitol building and they say when most people come to DC, this is what they see. And then he turned around to, a predominantly Black audience, and he's like, "What's up, man?" I'm always the person who want to know things that I don't know, that are new to me. And I love how the people post on Facebook they put different people in history, and they share things about them that normally we missed in school or somewhere. And I want to, throughout this, talk about Harriet Jacobs is one of them. Did you know, this is shout out for the female, Harriet Jacobs escaped from slavery and went on to become an influential voice in the fight against slavery. Her autobiography, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, shed light on the brutality and dehumanization of slavery, particularly for women. And it doesn't amaze me, but it just goes back so much further that women have just had a hard time.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah.
I know you're busy all across.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to do technical stuff, and shout out to Mr. Jackson. Shout out to Mr. Jackson. But yeah, no, on a serious note, but women still have so many hills to even still reach and get over, especially with what's going on in the world right now and whatnot. But we've had a fight.
We've come a long
but we have
way,
come a long
baby.
way, but we
still climbing.
Yeah, for sure.
Just trying to and just basically trying to make it. I was on a networking call, and so on the networking call, they wanted to explain Juneteenth as a holiday. And some people in your networking might want to celebrate Juneteenth, but as majority wise, they're like same as MLK. The non-blacks are like, we don't celebrate that.
But I'm gonna say this, and I think that it's great that we celebrate it as a people, and yeah, it's cool that they made it as a national holiday. But at the same time, that's what they do to us. They give us holidays. The government was actually convicted for killing MLK back in like 1990 or whatever. So with that being said, they gave us a holiday to pacify that. Right? And so now here's another, but yet you won't give the 40 acres and a mule, but yet you're giving Asians reparations. They've given Asian reparations, right? In the past, like in the 2000s. So it's kind of like, yeah, we celebrate amongst each other. I think it's important for us to know and have it. But I think as far as like on a higher level with the government and stuff, I think they just made it a national holiday to pacify us because, again, that's what they do for us. They feel that's enough. and I can get, because I'll go deep with it. Yes, I ain't gonna go crazy deep, but I'll go real deep with it. But
I'm gonna still call you Aaron.
But truthfully, that I mean, Google it. I'm not making none of this up. The government was convicted for killing MLK. They did it, and then before that they gave us a holiday to pacify us. His family won that trial, against them or whatever. But then fast forward, we get Juneteenth. That's what Biden did. But people were asking for reparations like a year or two prior to us getting the Juneteenth, but they didn't want to give reparations. So, I'm cool with it. I think it's great for our people. I think it's great for businesses to be able to do, these different, because Dalvin was telling me it was like over 150 different vendors where he was at. I know I heard Renee them on another station, and they were saying it was like 100 some vendors there. And even at the event that I went at, even though no one was selling anything, there still was a good amount of vendors. So it provides opportunity for the people to, share the dollar and circulate the dollar within our community. So those are the things that I love about Juneteenth.
Yeah. And sometimes when we're talking about Juneteenth, we have so many reasons that we could look back at history and be, of course, upset with history.
Oh, yeah.
But I believe that when you're given the opportunity, and I call it platform moments, when you're given those platform moments, I think that is a great time to educate people, and just to share with them about different, instead of going around mad and instead of talking about women, this women talk today about how is your boyfriend cheating on you? How does that feel? I want to use tonight as, again, a grateful moment for the platform,
right?
But just to basically talk about the struggles that we as African Americans and we as women have gone through. We can keep quiet. You both people want, when you use the word pacify, you can pacify, but it's okay to talk about them. You don't have to take the books off of shelves, because removing the books from the shelves of our educational building, it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, that's what they're trying to do at Project 2025.
It doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're given the platform, use it.
Yeah.
So tonight, let's use this platform, to talk about Juneteenth, to talk about people who I just love the movers and the shakers in the community. And, like in church, I always talk about church because I think I spend more time there than anywhere in work. But, in church sometimes, like maybe a pastor or something, a guest speaker, or, want to acknowledge, oh, thank you for coming. Thank you. Well, I don't want to overlook anybody.
Right.
So I thank all y'all for coming. But it's some people out in this community of Pinellas County, because that's where I'm born and raised, but who are doing the thing.
I want to name one real quick because I've partnered with Florida for All. Shout out to them. They're a nonprofit that really tries to bring education in regards to like politics and different things that's going on in the state. But basically, we have superheroes within this state who are fighting legislature for our freedoms here in Florida, from the voter rights to education to wages to housing. But State Representative Michelle Rayner in District 62. She has been recognized for going above and beyond the fight against corporate greed and defending the freedoms of everyday Floridians. And they provided her with 100% score. I'm going to read all the women real quickly. It's a few of them.
Put some respect on their names.
Yeah. So we have Representative Anna Escamani, District 42. We have Ashley Gant, District 109. We have Representative Lavon Bracey Davis, District 40. We have Representative Dottie Joseph of District 108, as well as Representative Felicia Robinson, District 104. I've already named Michelle Rayner. Shout out to her, District 62. We have Representative Rita Harris of District 44. And then finally, Representative Susan Valdez of District 64. these particular, and there are other heroes, but they're considered as superheroes within our state who are fighting the legislature right now against corporate greed, and especially about things like abortion, women's rights, even far as contraceptives for women for birth control and stuff like that, because they are the government is really trying to get rid of, in the Project 2025, they're wanting to get rid of all type of contraceptives for women for birth control. So that means no birth control pills, they'll be illegal, as well as abortion. So this is what these new things that they're trying to roll out. So these particular superheroes are stepping in the gap. And again, there's other ones. I have other ones as well, but I really want to shout out these particular women because they're in the fire for us right now and fighting for rights for women and for everybody, of course.
Exactly.
But it takes a lot to go out there, especially in a male dominated field like politics and stuff like that, and going to Tallahassee and going through all that, because you see all the shenanigans that go on. And I saw Michelle was at the White House like last week or what have you. So it's like, having these type of people who are, stepping in the gap for us.
I saw her with Representative Crockett.
Yeah, with Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. So it's kind of like, having these type of people in places, and women, especially then seeing women of color who are in these spaces, Black and brown included, who are really fighting for our rights, because, we live in a society where people are really oblivious about what's going on right now. And this ain't the time. This is like 1992.
And so proud of them to use that platform.
Yeah, that's a positive way to use their platform and things like that. I think we kind of get caught up in just our, life is lifing for everybody. But then at the same time, we really got to pay attention to other things as it pertains to how it affects us as women, us as a people, us as a culture. And just major shout out to these ladies who are actually, doing the work. You know what I'm saying? So, because it takes a lot of cojones to do that.
Balls. Ovaries.
Takes some big ovaries to do that. So I love that.
Aaron, even to stay locally, and like I say, I don't want to, I'll miss name, but I appreciate the local people, like, again, exposure to the Jubilee, Juneteenth Jubilee, Jazzy, to have that exposure on Sunday night. Like, shame on me for waiting this long. And I thank you, Terry Scott, for all you're doing in our community. But thank you for allowing me to sit at the table.
Yeah.
The food was great.
Yeah, the outfits look nice. Shout out to Miss Pat. She looked good. She won
the best dress.
Like she was going to the Met Gala.
Yes, I think that's what she thought.
Yeah.
She said that. Yeah, but just these people to use that influence, just keep it up.
Yeah.
And it just helps educate so many. I wanted to name this one other lady who's also, again, I want to talk about history that I didn't know about. This particular, hang on, Aaron, you go ahead.
I will say that the Juneteenth events around the country have even gotten some national attention, as well. I just think it's just beautiful that our people are really able to, celebrate. And I know that, like you were saying earlier, that some cultures, they don't even want to acknowledge it, see it, and different things of that nature. But that's a shame, because I believe in an all-inclusive society for everybody. But yeah, so I'm. It's just funny, but it's been some really, really good events I was seeing online and just in different areas around the country where people are just embracing it and just having a really, really good time and just learning. Again, you got to know where you come from to really appreciate where you're going. And I think events like that really, things like this really, really help. I just pray that they just continue to grow. But what's the history you're trying to share?
Okay. This was a prominent abolitionist and women's rights activist, Lucy Stone. Put some respect on Lucy Stone's name. Lucy Stone was a fierce advocate for equality and social reform. She was known for her powerful speeches and writings on the intersection of race and gender.
So intersectionality. So basically, intersectionality, guys, is basically experiences for women of color in particular, where they're shaped by both their gender and race, and how Juneteenth represents it. But it's a concept that acknowledges the individual's experience in multiple forms of, discrimination and oppression based on their intersecting identities, such as, race, sexuality, gender, and whatnot. So far as women, we face a lot of this type of stuff, right? Like when we're still facing it. I was listening to someone, and even this black man was talking, like, he was like, why is it when a black woman is saying, hey, this is happening to me, no one believes her and they want to see proof? But if our white counterparts or whoever other counterparts saying, hey, this is happening to me, this is how I'm feeling, this is how it's affecting me, they don't need any proof of it, right? Like the Megan Thee Stallion girl, who she got shot in the foot by one other rapper, and
recently,
a couple years ago during the pandemic, it was a big deal. But I know it's not on your timeline. But the point I'm making is, like, people they wanted to pull up who she was sleeping with in court versus this man shot me. He shot me, but y'all want to bring up who she slept with, want her to prove it. But Casey Anthony walking around here and she killed her dang on baby. And you see what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that's not new.
No, but that's just not new. But it's tiring for women, for especially women of color. And then we can even go even deeper layer as far as colorism, even browner skinned women who have issues compared to lighter skin. Like, there's so many different sections, intersections that people try to put us in all these situations, and people just want to live. Like, we don't want to really go through that. But it's crazy how society, like, I was listening to another man where he was like, oh, all these women, they want a man to take care of them and this, that, and the third, and just be at the house and da-da-da. But then this same man's breathing saying, I need a woman to be at the house and cook and clean. And that. Well, what do you want us to do, baby? What do you really want us to do? Like, we can't win for losing in this society of men, especially. Yeah. But, we
have so many reasons to clap back and be angry and bitter. And I just love it when we use our platform to a different level. Whereas Representative Crockett, she didn't start that
back and forth. Yeah,
she didn't start that, but she ended it with such dignity
and class. And like, I really want that to be a lesson, especially for the younger black women coming up and younger women coming up, that it's class is in, baby. We all can't be sexy red. So just having that touch of class and just that elegance, I think also within women, because we have to command that, not saying respect, but when you carry yourself a certain way, people treat you a certain way, and it's just the unfortunate truth, but yeah, I really like her.
We're really good at it where our office is located, Aaron, where I call it nice nasty.
Yeah.
Whereas there's like this morning, you could have responded to.
I mean, I hope she smelled the sarcasm that I was dishing out.
You could have responded in so a different manner, and I just pondered that all day. And I asked, well, what book did you read that allows you to talk to people in that manner? It can't be that you check a different race block than we're checking. But again, a proud mama moment. But to watch you handle that, even though, we were laughing, you handled that with dignity and class, and you didn't do a clap back at it. And they don't know how. They wanted to, but I gave her the tone. Like, what?
So I was like, oh my gosh, let me move the truck now, because it was like, but it's like they especially where they try to find little things to nick and knack and pick and peck,
it's a trigger.
So they see a successful Black-owned, woman-owned company, and that can be kind of intimidating. But then these are the other things that sometimes Black women
only got one truck, and y'all got 3 trucks.
Yeah.
Can you move it? It's over the line.
It's everything.
Over the line again.
Yeah, let me get the measuring tape next time, but that's why I was like, hopefully anybody as fat as her. Excuse me, I got a problem, but anyway. But the point I'm making is people will find things just to kind of go back and forth, but I just think it's so many beautiful examples. Like, how they be like, there's no no superheroes. Like, in your day, like you had like you were a baby. You were probably not even born Martin Luther King, but we had the Martin Luther Kings and like big, people and things like that. But
you got shot during my era.
Okay, but you was a baby child. You wouldn't lie, But I just feel like, this society, having those particular figures in the Black community, we have some, we do have some. I'm not gonna act like we don't. But they need to be more on a higher pedestal and a higher platform because it's really needed. And I just really wish, and everybody, every skin folk and kinfolk, everybody's just not going to get it. But those that do get it, there's opportunities to learn and unlearn and relearn so that we can, like the thing with Juneteenth. I mean, I didn't find out about Juneteenth myself probably like 2016, for even I didn't even know what it was. So 2016, and then what is it, 2024 now? It's even been 10 years. Wow. But now I know about it. So it's kind of like, us growing and just learning different things.
Free didn't find out about it until a couple years.
Well, I'm telling you, like, what I'm saying? Like the slaves, they thought they were still baby slaves. They was free. But, it's kind of like, you don't know till you know, and then just having it. I think it just makes you appreciate the skin that you're in because people have to really just call a spade, and it's okay. It's not a good or a bad. It just is. This is how it happened. This is how the history happened or whatever. But we have such a beautiful history. Like that's just a little bleep in our history. Like we've been around for eons, so it's kind of like, I just taken pride in that. So I just love to see the different pictures. I love the pictures from the Jubilee, from the Juneteenth thing at the Coliseum with Miss Terry and everybody in their white. It was really nice, I mean, I ain't go, but I loved y'all pictures though. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Pat.
And you just mentioned something while you were
you was cute, girl.
While you were talking about every, what was that? How do you word it? Every skin.
Oh, every skin folk and kinfolk.
Yeah, every skin folk.
Oh my gosh, mommy, you don't know. Oh my God, girl, Lord have mercy.
But what that means to me is so. I think the word is not petty to use, but when it's okay to disagree, but can we disagree to agree?
I think that's what adults
have to slander names and all.
I'm not really, I'm not really with that. But what I can say is this is a part that I've learned in growing and becoming a mature woman, a young, mature 41, that when you're a real adult, I can have a conversation with you and I may not understand, not like nothing you're saying, but I'm not gonna get mad because you don't see it my way. I mean, people gotta realize you gotta listen to understand versus listen to comment. And it's like, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, that doesn't make me not like you any less. Right. That doesn't make you less than me or anything of that nature.
And but I'm not gonna recruit.
We can agree to disagree.
And I'm not gonna recruit you to dislike someone.
But I'm gonna tell you,
I don't.
Correct. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go back and take it back to the beginning. That is some old colonized stuff because when the Roman Catholic Church came into Africa when they were coming to get the slave, it was either y'all gonna do what we say or you wrong, right? And that's the mentality. That's why people be like that because Christians killed the most people in the whole world as far as to believe in the religion. So I say that to say that they use that to be like, oh, if you don't do this, it ain't that. And that's how people actually have that mindset just in general with people. Like they get so mad, like people get in arguments and shooting each other because you don't agree with what person's saying. Like what? Like, can I be me? Can I just not agree with what you're saying? And can it still be okay? We still can go to the mall, girl, and go hang out. Like it's okay. But a lot of people, that's how people haven't grown emotionally and in their intellectual intelligence to be able to hold a conversation without spazzing out. Yeah.
And again, a lot having grown up here in St. Pete and leave and return. You could like this weekend when you participated with
Keyshawn's Corner, shout out to Keisha Fuller.
Exactly. One of the reasons that you did it is that you knew her.
Yeah.
And you went to school with her.
Yeah. And I could understand from my first book and talking about postpartum depression and feeling like suicide, like those type of things. Yeah. I could understand, right.
And it's like coming back to St. Pete. So many of my classmates, that 80, 81 era coming out of Pinellas County. Pinellas County did some, when I look at the, we're doing things, but when we look at some of my 80 buddies that, and it's like, whether you like them or not, they came out of the 80s. Our first African American mayor.
That's like dope. Because
these are 60 babies.
Because St. Peter's a black city.
Yes.
Okay.
Deborah Fig Sanders.
Yeah.
I got her about a year or so, and then Renee Flowers. But what amazes, those are three that come to mind who come out. They're 60 babies. And one thing that comes to mind for the person who knew them as, kids. I would say snotty-nosed kids, but just knew them as kids.
Y'all grew up together, Chair.
I am not surprised by what any of them are doing. They excelled as you. We're doing the thing. And to find them with these platforms, I am a 60 baby, proud of them and the things that do, even though people might not agree with all they do, but they are doing some dynamic things. And I want to give you all a shout out.
I love all of them. Yeah, I had like a little clapping thing.
Aaron, this song reminds me.
If you play a song,
I am getting ready to. We're gonna go on a break.
So Facebook, you go on a break. They can hear.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find out.
That's the part. Oh, she's great. That's the part.
I just did. I did that.
Anybody else?
Not gave you 5-6 people.
Who'd you give me 5-6 people?
I just named all the state representative women who got 100%.
Oh, so you gave it to me on your 9, but that wasn't your time to get
but it was done. It was still done, and I gave a whole bunch of people. Shout out to all them. I mean, they doing their thing. I'm happy.
What I want to think about during with this Juneteenth celebration, for years it had always been the church, like the church
having
preachers
events.
Were, the advocates for the community, and I'm so glad that we have branched out. And others are doing it in the community. Others are, doing the outstanding thing. And again, as a woman, I'm always proud to see another sister slay the field. You will always see me applaud them, whether you agree with their platforms or not.
Well, I think that's just in life in general, right? Sometimes we have things. I mean, whatever. It doesn't have mean for this city exclusively.
Right.
It's just talking in general. Because we don't want to get caught up in the mess, right?
Not.
But it's like, I feel like everyone's entitled to their own opinion and whatever it is. I mean, that's what makes life so beautiful. Everyone thinks different. Now, granted, can you have some people in your life that you have similarities to, and you can have some agreements? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's like everyone has their own opinion, and we too grown. Like, I had seen somebody make a post basically saying that just because you got a problem with somebody, I don't mean I gotta have a problem with them. And that's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Don't recruit me to hate.
Baby, we too grown.
Yeah. And even with all this, going on with Diddy, so many people.
Well, this crap is a distraction. You know what I'm saying to you?
That's the word. That's the word.
It's a real distraction because, the elections are coming up in August for our city and in November for the country. So these are like huge distractions.
Jumps on these bandwagons, and we just and I think people need to be reminded of that. Like, don't get caught up into this.
What they used to say, sweep on your own doorstep before you come sweeping around mine. Like, we're in a society, we're in a society where we are consumed with other people's crap. We're consumed with other people's information. We're consumed with other people's business and who this, that, and the third, this notification for that. But they're like all distractions on purpose, and I just know especially like for women, it can be very distracting, especially when you got to be purpose driven and stuff like that. And just like you say, using your platform models. There's one lady talking about the women who get like BBLs and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. You want to get plastic surgery. But she was saying like the mindset of the women is, let me save my money, go do this, that, and the third to get it. But then when I get it, this man's going to rescue me, and they're going to trick on me, and they're going to do this, that, and the third. And I had like the mindset of women right now is so dang on shaky and scary. But it's a lot of women that think like that. So that's why the Representative Jasmine Crockett is a great example of the elegance and class that women, we got to kind of like pull back in and hone in, especially our women and stuff like that. Because it's getting a little bit out of hand. It's getting a bit out of hand, and we can agree to disagree. Do I like some of Sexy Red songs? Yes, I do. Do I think that she should be talking to children? No, I don't. And what should you let your children listen? I'm not
going to embarrass myself and ask who Sexy Red is.
Oh, Lord.
Are you able to hum a song that I would know?
Get it sexy. Get it nothing. Boy, you know this. For real? Okay, whatever. Okay. But anyway, the point I'm being is like the role models, right, of the women, right? We're going back to the role models of Black women and who we have and things like that. We named all the dynamic women in the city and stuff like that. Just named the state representatives who are doing great things in our state. So, that's why I was talking about the examples of people like, having those heroes and having those type of people and stuff. People have now, instead of that, whatever their favorite singer is, that's their hero. And that's like just not the way to go. That's what I mean by having the right examples in society for women, for all women, honestly. But our women, I can only talk to us because, baby, they trying to keep us back.
Yeah. And I went to church on Sunday, and one of the little girls, I'll give her, she's probably Emery's age, 10 or 11. I believe that they were Christian
Oh, okay, the same age. Yeah, I knew somebody.
So when I was walking into the church Sunday, she gave me this handmade flyer. I believe, because she went on to say, don't get ink or something on your hand. But this handmade flyer that she did, and she was selling bracelets and she had her team with her, two of the other young ladies who go to the church. But she was selling bracelets and just going and just that proud moment. And as I walked past them, I put her flyer, in my purse. And I said, now when she sees me on Sunday, I'm going to help her, with that.
Oh, that's why you, okay.
I am going to help her with that flyer, but no, not help her like the flyer.
But to encourage her, to keep her, to fire her.
Like, I am so impressed.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, of reaching. Tiffany Haddish says it so well, reaching down and pulling someone else up. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
To not forget that class. And so I look forward to.
I think it's important that, hey, Sharonda,
female entrepreneur.
Yeah, you need to talk to mine. But yeah, I think that that's really, really important. Those examples, like that's why these things are important. I remember Thelma Nolan, who used to be here.
Oh yes.
I used to love Thelma Nolan because she was over the McKnight Achievers when I was a kid, and I remember like being a kid, I used to always like want to have that type of energy that she had. She was very feminine, but very strong and very smart, and a businesswoman. She was a realtor, and things like that. And at that time, I didn't really know many business Black women in St. Pete like that close up, And so seeing that and having them examples, like that's Miss Peggy Peterman. Like,
even for me,
where do you think I get my pro-Blackness from? Peggy Peterman. I mean, geez Louise. She used to have me at her house while she was doing her right. Listen.
Yeah, Peggy was one.
She was a big,
it from my generation.
Yeah, she was a big influence.
A big influence of showing you how you want it to be, like mimicking someone.
And social media now is like your favorite Instagram model is your kid. That's why Emery he don't have no social media. Like the YouTube he has is on my account. I get to see everything. But that's why I don't let him be on different things, because what's available out there is crazy, So the girls are seeing these different examples, and it's scary, I mean, especially the thinking like with this current generation and who they are. What they doing, like it's kind of scary. I feel like I sound like an old lady saying that, but it's the truth. I'm just like, geez Louise, like who are these? Like what? This is the future?
And we have such a great opera. I know listeners, I probably said this word about a million times, but we have so many opportunities to use our platform to influence others. What you're doing as business owners, what you're doing, shout out to the hardest profession there is, teachers and mothers. But what you're doing as business people, come share that, like the Great American Teach-In. We should have something like that.
They still have them, They still. I spoke at the Great American Teach-In when at Lakewood a few years ago, so they still have it, every year. That's not going nowhere, But there's so many. There's just so many different things available. The 500 role models, I believe that's the name of it, for the boys in Pinellas County schools. Girlfriends, a group that I know was at Melrose that I used to mentor too. So there's a lot of different things. You just got to get out there and get in the community, like, and make a difference, So, because I mean, I ain't gonna care. And no shade to anybody who child is in them dancing troops. But are you teaching them to be a baby stripper, honey? Or what are they gonna do with that skill set? You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, are we setting our girls up for failure because this is what's available? So it's important to put your kids in different things that you can see. Like, I'm grateful that y'all put
dance troops are.
Yeah, when I'm talking about like ballet, I'm talking about them ones that's popping that thing at the MLK parade. I don't like stuff like that. But like, I'm grateful for being put in Black. I don't care. I'm just saying, whoever watching them, your daughter's in that thing popping it. I'm like, baby, are you teaching to be a stripper? Whatever, judge me. But I'm grateful for being in going to the Poynter Institute to learn how to write. I'm an author because of that. I'm grateful for being in Black History Pageant from the age of 5 to 18 because why? I can speak very well and act very well. And those things help me have a certain presence. And, so that's why I'm saying, being those examples and finding like having those people, in the community. And we do have them, but I think it's important for us to have what's his name? Will Packer's coming this week, Friday, I believe. The event is, I think,
shout out to those
St. Pete Strong,
Pinellas County educators.
Yeah, for St. Pete Strong, they're having Will Packer and some other people speaking. So, having events like that.
What you registered?
That's what I registered for Emory and for me to go to. But yeah, that's things like that is what's so needed. I wish there were so many more, type of deal. So, but yeah, those things are just really, really, really important just for our kids, especially now because it's because crazy.
What grade do they start building?
What is it? Third
prisons?
grade?
They start building prisons by the scores of our kids in third grade. And I could what's the lady's name that I mess up in?
Ayanna Van Zandt.
She had done an episode where she had a bunch of men on men in the show, and they were just talking about like the school was like a pipeline to the prison. And I think that's when I first heard about third. I'm like, no, not third grade, but that's a sad.
But this third grade, but who it's specifically for?
Our African American
and our Black and brown because prisons are filled with Black and Latinos.
Yeah.
Period. And it's just so sad,
And we have to change that.
Yeah, because this is a business. America's a business and things like that. They're here for the almighty dollar. But, having these, that's why, Father's Day, shout out to all the fathers for Father's Day. Thank you all for being y'all, because that's why these type of things and people like that are just so important, in a child's and a person's life, just having people of value that you can learn from and grow from to be, who you are. When you think about your childhood, who those people help develop a lot of who you are today. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell some of the adults who, honey, I don't know what they was around, And
I'm just so happy to be exposed to, and other people got them. I hear they talk about got them in terms of neighborhood groups or whatever, but I'm just so glad about my exposure at church.
Yeah.
To some solid.
Yeah, it's foundational stuff. Yeah.
Leonard Summers, Israel Hurd, all of those people who shaped the way of like
strong black men, who were really, really men. They weren't talking about let's go 50-50, and if that's what you want to do, they no problem. I don't judge nobody or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is they were having them kind of conversations. They're talking about like how can we make these things grow? How can we, this, that, and the third and prosper and vision and provision. So, I just pray for our society, because it's like, wow, like the social media overexposes it even more to kind of be like, well, God, dog, what's really going on, but having those people in the community, having those key players as far as people who can be of influence in the right way to help people it's just what it's about, and it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. At the end of the day, how can I say, it's multiple ways to get the number 5. You can do 1 + 4, you know what I'm saying? You do all different type of things to get that number. But the point is, as long as we're here for the same common goal, that's all that matters. Whether your way is this way, whether my way is that way. But if it's all at the end of the day to help, these what people, for example,
more than one way
to skin a cat. And I was in my accounting class, I was one of the not my accounting class, in my marketing class I'm taking, they were talking about Impossible Burger, and Impossible Burger is a plant-based burger, right? And so after Impossible Burger was made, then a company called Beyond Meat came around, right?
These are real companies.
Impossible Burger. Oh my God. Like what? Oh my goodness. You don't go to the grocery store, child. But anyway, oh my goodness. I'm just like, what? But Impossible Burger, they make they make plant-based meat, right? But what they use is another component that has a GMO in it that gives like that blood flavor from like what regular meat does. So they have that. People are kind of like, but then there's another company called Beyond Meat that's out that does the same thing, but they don't put that GMO in it. So they were asking the man who made Impossible Burger, well, how do you feel about this other company coming through? Because it's only really just them two that are like really big in there, you know, in stores and in different restaurants and stuff. So the man from Impossible Burger, he said, I'm excited. I'm glad that they're doing it because we're all here for the same common goal, to stop people from eating real meat. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. They both got the same initiative to help people stop and to become vegan. One may do it this way with the GMO stuff, and the other one's doing it another way. They were trying to pit them again. There could only be one off. Right. And that's what people got to really understand when it comes to a lot of things in life, right? We can disagree to agree, but if that same common goal is to help the people and to do whatever else, whatever the heck it is, it don't even matter if you
do your portion,
right,
and allow me to do my portion,
right. And so it doesn't really even matter. But you know, I told you what I learned the other day in regards to like the slaves. Slave masters would give one slave freedom, right? So in the other slaves' minds, it could only be one or two Negroes who could be let free. So that's a mentality that a lot of people have, that only these one or two can be it. So I got to beat them. I got to knock them out, you know, not physically, but that competitiveness. And that's just the craziest mental conditionings. But I think if people kind of just, you know, understood, like, baby,
it's enough
out here for everybody. The spirit of lack is real, and you got to not have that spirit of lack. But yeah, when I saw the man, going back to what we were saying, but seeing that and mind you, Impossible Burger is like a $4 billion business right now. Oh yeah. Go on YouTube. Impossible Burger. I mean, but the point is, we all can do different things to get the same goal.
Yeah. Aaron, I want to use the remainder of our women talk time to ask you this question. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. What would your ancestors be proud about Aaron right now?
I think that they are grateful that I use my voice to speak so many truths, because they were never allowed to do that. They weren't in a space to do that. They weren't able to do that. And so I think that, because, you know, your ancestors, that's what DNA is. Literally, from the beginning, first person in your bloodline to where you're at now is thousands of millions, you know, people all up in your bloodline. But I said it to say they didn't have any voices. So I believe that for me, my ancestors are proud of me in regards to how I utilize my voice and how I will continue to use it to provide truth, awareness, and understanding and purpose, you know, in life, for not just myself and our bloodline, but for everyone else too, for others people as well.
I love.
Thank you. Snaps.
Like Snoop Dogg say, I want to thank me. And sometimes it's just hard for others to think, talk about themselves, but I don't say it because you're my blood, but you are doing the thing.
Oh, thanks. Same here.
And just so proud of the things that you do and how you do use your voice.
Now I know sometimes it may be too much because I know my mouth, you know, but I'm still a work in progress. What they say, God ain't done with me yet. But let me tell you though. But guess what though? I know it's some time to go, but my mouth ain't what it used to be. I'm definitely not who I used to be, because I would shut this whole thing down. But I've changed so much. But that's the beautiful
Thanksgiving. The audience
almost got arrested.
That man said, if it wasn't
y'all,
for your
take me to jail, y'all. Oh my God.
If it wasn't for your mama, I would put you in the back of this cruise, and this was over in Tampa.
Oh my gosh. Anywho, that'll be on the next Women Talk. Y'all tune in.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Happy Father's Day. Oh, and happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, y'all.
Make it a great night.